This moment, we want to come with the CEO of Campaign for Human Rights Development International, when Abdul M. Fatoma, and we know say na household name now inside the CI Network family. Make we bring him on board, make we can talk small. We see say Campaign for Human Rights Development International, don't they do quite a bit this being term. And we have got some few questions for asking, but we go get on the platform first, make it tell we how things don't they happen on their own end. Welcome to CI Network Radio again, Abdul M. Fatoma.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Triple A, and the entire CI Network Radio family, both home and abroad.
We see say Campaign for Human Rights Development International, this BNTM gets a lot of things where they get their hands on. You can able to take me through some of these things?
Yeah, quite recently we joined other civil society then for looking to the findings now Makeni incident. Then also we work with the United Nations Development Program as part of the international community. And the government of Sierra Leone, we get an obligation for ensure say the people of Sierra Leone then protected and their right then respect. We organization partner with them too, then they including one civil society organization with the West African Network for Peace, ONEP. Going the hotspot areas recently where the violence and then community and in the pretext of demonstration and riots. This is Foredugu, way close to Makeni, way between Makeni and Lonsad. Then Makeni itself, Lonsad. And then we come down to Tombo community. So, Chadi we get for focus on Makeni and Tombo. And Chadi we get open town hall meeting where we ask the people them with a title say, let the people talk. Let the people talk, and be open and frank, something where we don't allow government of Sierra Leone for send any delegation, but we want for talk with the people themselves, where they na Makeni day, we na public servant them, like the police, the military, the Office of National Security, the paramount chiefs them, traders union, youth groups, the correctional center, PPRC and teachers union, all walks of life, and also the youth group, the Bombali youth group, progressive youth group, something like that. We then the leading elite group, youth group, Bombali, we based on Makeni, as a Modka, something like that. Then get over 8,000 membership, and they say most of the members them now then be engaged into that riot. Now then happen for be victim back as well, where some then sustain, injury, serious or lifetime injury, and where some then lost their life. And then say we get a representative in the local council. As well, the deputy mayor been there for represent the mayor. There will be other local councillors. Then we will get members from the SLPP, members from the APC and NGC, and we'll not be able to see other political parties. But we will also get a representative, the regional coordinator for APADAN and the all political parties. Because of COVID, we will restrict the number of people then because the concern be so high for let people then participate. The Makeni Township people then speaker after speaker appreciate Chadi move and then say they don't reject other organizations, including government delegations. Then they refuse to talk to them. Yes, please.
I want all you under quick because when you talk, you say this waka Una ask government not for even mixed day. But me, say, inside this administration, some people in the government and where they represent the political party. So the way represent this present administration, the party in the SLPP, are they part of the government or then are strictly party stalwarts, not having anything to do with the governance of the country?
Well, basically, the political party representatives, the way we invite now, the one that we based on Makeni. But like, we don't agree for take anybody from the government of Sierra Leone administration, like probably we some
they double as this
group, then they go, yes.
Okay.
You take from, like, you call the Secretary General when the Deputy Minister of Justice, or neither you call the publicity, the public relations person when the Deputy Internal Affairs, or neither you call the chairman when the chairman for, on privatization, and so on and so forth. So we strictly want it be Makeni issue. We discuss her at Makeni level in the interest of Sierra Leone. That's how we've been really design the program. But like I said, speaker after speaker, speaker after speaker, continue for say they respect, Chadi so much. Now that make them even give audience to Chadi, because government don't send delegations, they're not agree for cooperate and participate with government in your own delegation, certain group of people, because like the local governance, then tell we say then they cooperate throughout any team number, but then sometimes they get fatigue, because delegation after delegation, the civil society group, then split. You get one group, they go, the other group, they go. Then you get the parliamentary team, you get the ONS, you get the other team where they send a government set up for let them look into the thing. So they also complain about that, but they let Chadi, approach when a open space. They really let people then can talk, about what will happen, what will be the cause. So one of the key things will come out, and we also uniform across the 4 communities where we organize this program. Now that say there be misinformation and lack of engagement. The misinformation we then get and the lack of engagement with the local authorities and the central government, not to engage them that the young people them for tell them exactly what's in the status of the community in terms of development, security, and otherwise. And also the long-term marginalization among young people and that of the state. Yes, in the former, sector, you see young people, then they will hold positions. But the informal sector, you see they appoint young people then for be youth councillors that different districts them across the country. But then they not create office space for the district youth councils and the executive members So the youth rep office in hand in day, na in bag day, na in portfolio day, or na in OC day, or na in bed day, or in bedroom na day in office day. So then see that day as well as a way government they demoralize them, not they really inspire them. They also raise the issue of the police. They harass them. The police go, as the allegations may go, police they seize them bike or keke, then lock them in detention, charge them to court some them. After we the court go down, discharge them, then come back. Then policeman and they, according to the allegation, they don't convert them bicycles and motorcycles and the Okada into their own personal use. So then men they are not they get access to their motorbike, then they where they don't suffer for, they don't raise their own money for buy for employ themselves, as a self-employment. So then say if police they treat them then way, then they may not find job for them left idleness. But then police take them back, then they form them. The next moment, outside and they end up na ghetto. And when they na ghetto, if any bad person meet them, for them do bad things, then say then go do it. I mean, this was a town hall meeting, open meeting. We get a lot of frankness into, with conversation. The paramount chiefs then talk say to, Makeni na be a peaceful community. They don't know, how this thing come about. It be unfortunate. The young people then say it be unfortunate. The police then say it be unfortunate. The soldiers then say it be unfortunate. But the majority of the people then are Makeni, waiting them voice actually uniform. Now accountability. The security sector, members the way do that killing. And also use gun for bring lifetime injury on natives of Makeni and people that will be present at that place. They actually let the government set up a transparent and an open process for ensure that the people that will be do that incident, they hold them accountable. They will be pleased with that than any other thing. That are the strong message we then be give Chadi. And that strong message we share with UNDP will partner with, and we share with government. Immediately when we done the exercise on Friday, Monday we began meeting with the government of Australia and the United Nations Development Program, representatives that were attached to this project, to this program. And we update them. We definitely by next week, we don't compile, we report them today, we don't complete. By next week, Monday, we do a formal handing over, to the United Nations, on we findings and the recommendation from the people. This until we not agree for dilute. I mean, it's organic. How the people then tell we raw one, that our raw spicy sauce. We they give also the UN and the government of Leone. The reason being that the kind of respect where the people of Makeni give Chadi. I mean, we self be so much shocked for get them kind of about thing, but then in another way we sit down and think now the way we don't handle issues at this country. We always stand with the truth. We always, say the truth. And no matter even everybody disown we, but Chadi stand for that. We also count down Tumbo.
Before we count Tumbo, waiting the Makeni people, waiting they accept say now be their own wrong.
Well, waiting the Makeni people they accept say now be their own wrong. They accept say misinformation.
Okay.
And then regret doing that. The young people them, they ask for forgiveness, to the audience that we've been needed. That let them forgive them, they may misinform, they mislead them,
Who mislead them? Mislead them.
Well, they're not agree for call name.
Okay.
They tell we say we are misinformed, we be, we not be get the right information. They mislead we, they misinform we. This was the key thing. And we're not going to really forgo say, would I do this to you? Would I make let this be? We be want let everybody there at your will and with that sincere point. If you love Makeni, you get for defend Makeni, you get for protect Makeni, and you get for ensure say you promote development in Makeni. That will be the key message where we've been given. So a lot of people get touched, by that sincere approach where we go with to them. And they're able to tell we exactly within the challenges that we they go on. So then tell we, but then stand up within them, the police, that the young people. So what do we do in this? We don't highlight the ministries that were responsible for the different things, like the Ministry of Youth. We want to recommend to the United Nations and the government of Australia for let them work with the Ministry of Youth for ensure say youth offices and they across the country that then young people they are willing just appoint or elect as a district youth council without no office space for them. Let the United Nations Development Program or other development agencies and the government of Australia provide that facility. The internal affairs ensure that they work with the police then and the young people then are Makeni and ensure that police and young people and other people then get a cordial relationship instead of that standoff enemy, the police versus the youth and young people. We highlight that go bring development and go bring peace to that community. And we also talked about the traditional leaders the way they are at peace with themselves. The paramount chiefs them, the tribal chiefs them, so then they know they are at peace with themselves. If it is one day and the other are not a good day. So the people that appeal to we say, if there is a way Chadi go back and make peace to them chief, then they go happy. But we get we own limit as a civil society. There are some role in government role for play. So what we go do? We go make a stronger recommendation to the Ministry of Local Government and the development agencies in this country. Let them create a platform whereby we were able to get conflict mediation, saying for we traditional leaders. So the internal affair, the Ministry of Local Government will look into them and the justice issue, where the social injustice for people that they face in this country, the Chief Justice and the AG's office for come together as one for ensure that they engage the local community. Because the people then say they lack them kind of engagement there, where people then they really can without honesty and open up them for let them contribute. And as I tell you, this is the program where at the height of Salon, everything politicized. Nobody know the way they point finger for one political party or something. Always in the people we care about for peace of their community, development of their community. Nobody know they point finger and say, oh, this party, oh, that party, oh, this political leader, oh, that political leader. The atmosphere will be so much cool when people come out and appreciate, even the government institutions are not organized successful, engagement like this yet. Not them communities. So they appreciate same real corner alone sad. Then when we come to now, one politician we admire for insincerity and honest. They say, na councillor. They say, well, let me be honest with you all there. They say, well, we the politicians, we like we fight the day in our community. We conflict in our community. Now that time they should say we the work. They say, nobody know they get the mind for counting up actually go they think about safety. They say, but when peace day, they say, now you get beaucoup question. What you don't do for we? What if we plan for do you don't do? They say like that. They say, but based on with presentations and all that thing, and now know where peace day, land development will be really for strive. And that will make people then keep on sending back if you work hard. So the boatman themselves then we talk to the harbor masters then for let the laws, the bylaws, the way that they make, let it go be fair, and let them treat everybody under that same law. They don't tribal chiefs themselves. They know they see yai to yai na tumbo and tumuna a strange place. And most of the criminals then are other atong like Shinge, Freetown, Makeni, Putloko, Boo, and other places. When they come Waterloo, the next transit point na tumbo, then they go hang. So if some boys on the way don't do bad at Freetown or the other big towns there, when police they look for them, the safer zone for them na tumbo. So the police, the LUC na Waterloo, engage in self-calm. They talk about in constraint. They talk about in relationship with the peninsular villages, and how the cooperation with them, they get, but of late, Tomo don't be a trouble place. And the other uniform thing again is this. Freud who say the boys that we can do the havoc, they're not the actual natives of that town. Makeni say the actual boys that we can for do that thing, they're not the actual natives of that town. Lonsa say not the boys that we can do the havoc, they're not the actual natives of Lonsa. Tombo the same thing. But what in they agree on say, when them boys and they start the thing, some of the other young people that were aggrieved with the injustice in their community, they self join them boys and they. Okay. But after when the incident done, then look for them boys and they really will be there at the forefront. They're not in at that time again. At that time, they realize that strangers can come, but they no say they not go accept that again. They self don't get the awareness. So we message was that let yourself than politics. If you let politics pass yourself, in order for like nobody, you go see say then they born you neighbor in host, you party in host, because you and our two not share the same political value or political ideology, you know go save them. You go see them go they born you or speak to them, go born you tongue, they go defend. Why? Because the political view, not convince you for go defend or protect. But when you love yourself, they love humanity. If you see say that they damage one human life, it'll be a concern to you and you will protect that very issue. So then get the message right. Since we left, we still get call from all the stakeholders, from the police them, the paramount chiefs them, then they call really appreciate we. Some will be pledged that all say, when them go back now them community, now them go work for them people. Because we, like Chadi tell them, say, when you be chief, let not be say because you want that other lady in that other compound, then in neighbor go hamburg them, you take them, you put cashipa them. But then if you don't go disturb the other neighbor, when they come to you, you say no. Then when they are low left, they no more. All that no fear. So we talked to the religious leaders and how they don't left the space open, that they will occupy back the moral space, and be them people the way the community for look up to, for settle differences then, not in different community. Some pastors and imam they also appreciate we and return back to we and tell we plenty thank you, about the things that will open up to them.
Okay, Glady, I give you time, make you able to explain to we. When then are going in all these places, most of we be the talk say na lawlessness. Una findings able come with waiting we be the thing say na lawlessness make them youth there be just go on the rampage for misbehave. It go with una findings or waiting una findings get to waiting we be the thing.
Well, the issue of lawlessness, that is a uniform thing in this country. Government officials in this country, they're lawless. The police way for enforce law is lawless. The military way for ensure the discipline day is lawless. Minister way for ensure say be an example in society is lawless. Civil society actors, the media. Most of the sectors in this country, you get key drivers there, where people then they look up to. The majority of them lawless in this country. So lawlessness is not only to one particular set of group of people. Lawlessness is widespread and systematic among we in this country, the people of this country. You go to political parties, you see high level of lawlessness they display from the leadership down to the grassroots member. Social club, you see the evidence of lawlessness. So lawlessness is not part of salon system now. Small thing, you see a level of lawlessness there. Like, I don't call the different cadres. Even professionals in this country, accountants, lawyers, doctors, they get lawlessness, and nature among them. Majority of the membership, they display, the attitude of lawlessness. So, but the incident where the young people then say, it be unfortunate. It's unfortunate for like we turn against we own community in this country, for ensure that say we give bad name to we community, for ensure that say we damage we neighbors and hosts, for ensure that say the only clinic where we get where they provide health service for we burn them, for ensure that say the only police post where we get for provide security for we vandalize her, destroy her, run out our policeman then. One female police officer at home, they say the FSU. It says since with the world door, ever see any other thing we're more fearful than that very day, than the hunt and then they look for. Another AYV journalist at Makeni say, until when they display invest say, when a journalist don't shoot. Now one captain, we even attend, this with town hall meeting. That captain they able for say now through that lady they talk. I mean that the captain will rescue because the journalist lady not be even recognize the soldier man will rescue. So this will be unfortunate situation, like a scary thing,
A rescue to the community. The youth or from the officers?
A rescue from the officers, okay. Even there at the middle of things, while them in the live coverage of the incident. So it don't come as an unfortunate situation. I mean, we don't go with civil war, we reconciled, we set up the special court for hold the one that will bear the greatest responsibility, accountable. So all what the people of this country they yearn for is about the accountability. Who that will be responsible? For them, we brothers then lost their life. For them, we people then, property then damaged. And the lack of structural engagement within the local government, the central government, and the people. Government for try for address that as soon as possible. So that, we not go get reoccurrence into that kind of thing and day.
Way they explain just now, make I just step in quick. Way they explain just now, it's like the people, all go, they need this interaction from government. You feel say na politics, na don't blind the side of government, not for see, for make them know say there is a moral duty where government need for engage the people. What I mean government, I need to talk about the one in the status, but like every government parastatals for engage the people, make them know exactly what's in the people their mind.
But to be sincere with you, this comes with lack of trust. For far too long, there's a lack of trust and lack of confidence in anything we associate with government. The fact that say that government something, that government they can even are good for people there. You get so many people who go then at the community we not believe say not true. We no go give supporting hand. When you go put any property, if you private one, people then they protect her. But if you can't say this to our government, then they vandalize her. So it's like the people, they not only lack trust for government, they also hate government. Because if you not hate government property, when a public property, when a for we all use, I mean, they vandalize her, they cannibalize her. Even the one where they work for government, when you give them government work, this motor cannot not for put charcoal, not for put wood. Then they go load charcoal inside it, put passengers there. When you give them motorbike, then they ride and roughly. But if they're private person there, then they take time and say, me boss man not a joke, but this is our government property. So we need civic education for educate people and say, government property now we all own. Because we even correct one senior military officer, we been at the high table. During a young presentation, I say, they only serve the government of the day. Let me moderate the program. So immediately you don't can say, Mr. Officer, the word when you say you they serve government of the day, you not they serve government of the day. I said, I don't know what other Sierra Leoneans the more. I said, anytime I hear that word from any public officer, the military, the police, fire force, doctor, nurses, when they work for government, I say they bring discomfort in my life. The reason is this. When they work for the people of Sierra Leone and the government of Sierra Leone, the people of Sierra Leone then get the government of Sierra Leone. The political party, they're only charged with the responsibility for run the government affairs, the governance affairs of the state. So when they run the governance affairs of the state, they get constitutional mandate, a time frame period. When 5 years, with constitution guarantee them. I said, so then they go. But the government, they stay. I said, so where they serve the people of this country and work for the government of Sierra Leone, when they work for the government of the day, because not a political party when they work for. When they work for the people and the government. So he apologized and say, I'm very sorry, Mr. Fatoma, you always right, and this one, you get me on a very sorry why I say that the people cheer them up, them clap.
In saying this, the other time now, we SSFB play a video where the Inspector General of Police begun at the OSD headquarters, and the person where be the traffic talk on behalf of the OSD to the Inspector General of Police said the same thing. Say then at the government of the day, na in the day for. So you think say in this way departments then at the country, do you think there's education needed for make them able to understand say they are there for the people and not for say this one when they say government of the day? I think then they miss, and just like how you schooled that one day, you think say there is need for education in with security sector?
Not only with security sector. If you go to any public service place in this country, the fire force, the police, the military, the correctional center, the magistrate, then the judges, and the doctors, the nurses, ministers. Ministers that we will understand, they are politicians. But the other one, they were not professionals. We for be professional and maintain professionalism. When they open a more, we are the government of the day. We don't do it for serve the government. No. The government of the day is the political party. But the government of Sierra Leone is static, is stagnant, just like the Northern Star. Just like the people. So professionals not they serve the government of the day. But ministers go serve the government of the day because they're not political appointees there. But police, maybe the IG go serve the government of the day. The deputy IG go serve the government of the day. The reason being that the political appointment. The political appointment. And that we, your organization, they lobby for say, let the police not be a political appointment. Because the moment you put the IG, as it pleases the president, the deputy IG as it pleases the president, then when you look at the police council set up chaired by the vice president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the second gentleman, and the internal affairs minister as the secretary, and then the police. So they are just an ordinary member in their own council. In their own council. Just an ordinary member. So it's political.
This one for civic education can always come up. You think, say, I don't know how the curriculum done they look now for classrooms, them and everything, but even for adult education, how you feel, say, we able for impact massive civil education, make everybody in Sierra Leone know their role as a citizen, as a police officer, as a minister, as a president, as a vice president, as a head of institution. How you think, say, we go really know we role? Because until we know we role, then we go able for work towards a better Sierra Leone.
Yeah, the civic education, taking it to the classroom, now one brilliant thing, is good. Nobody no go object that. But when we take them to the classroom, we'll be building that, civic mind for the other generation. That when this generation fade out, the one the way they come, that then go get that nurturing day, on civic duty. But then if we want to do it simultaneously, we can do it both informal and the formal sector. The formal sector is through with formal institutions, maybe from nursery, secondary, primary school, secondary school, to college or university level. Then we also take it out for the one that we not get opportunity for go to the classroom. How themselves will be part of that. Forget civic education. So we get a blend of it. We begin common school, one for Kante and Mama, waiting and talk to her about civic thing. I mean, in Papa self go able for add to the conversation, not only listen. In Mama go able for add to the conversation. Whether Imam where they preach, they get 5 minutes or 2 minutes for talk about civic responsibility. That pastor where they preach at that church, they get 5 minutes for talk about civic responsibility. Police officer, whether they call them parade, then get 5 minutes for talk about civic responsibility. The military, the fire force, the doctors, the nurses, and NGOs, journalists, where then they hold their meetings, any workshop, a 5 minutes of civic responsibility go day, on civic talk. So maybe with that we will catch up, and then universally now the country we're all able for know waiting at we own role and waiting at the government your role. Because when anything and they lacking that day. And people that they not professionals, they don't know say they're not professional. And they behave anyhow. People that they serve the public. They don't know say then they serve the public. They're not public officers. Some man, they don't even know the difference between the public officers and the public servants. The civil servant person. So these are all we need their educations indeed. But when you talk to ministry after ministry agency, we don't get money, we get funding constraint. But when budget time reach, the Minister of Finance, na this country, they go na parliament, they call big money them. I mean, this not a today thing, since 1961 to date, all the finance ministers, then they go to ministry, then they go to the well of parliament and read them budgets. But then when you engage institutions there, they know they get 50%. So institutions and they know they get 50% of what the minister they go call say, then they allocate to them. This don't be a huge of challenge, for that we actually get to the things that we go make we happy as a nation. Because the workers, the way they work, they're not happy. Look like a police officer. You will get 2 degrees. 3 degrees almost. 2 masters with a 1st degree. ASP or superintendent. The least you get, you get reach 2 million euros. But then if you didn't CID, for example, they say let you go investigate 6 billion yuan case. Then if you there possibly commit the crime a free hand, it give you, even though say 36 million, it don't cover how many years salary in one green day? 3 years salary in one green day. Then somebody give not 1 month or 3 months or 3 good year salary. So why if you say go be as a possibility for that police officer for compromise? They don't go university. They don't educate himself. Get 2 masters. You get fire force. Young man, they don't get a degree. Don't go for that training for 6 months. Come. No promotion for the 3 years where they don't work. No promotion. You get correctional center. People then they don't work there for over 6 years. 10 years, no promotion. Then get them qualifications, so then get them HND. Outside them in the past, then they rotate them one post to another post. Uniform, not a better thing. Now, very recently, I read one post from the police. With the same with police then to a peacekeeping mission. We give them how many pair? Either 2 pair uniform, 2 polo, or 1 pair socks or 2 pair socks, 1 boot. Shamefully, with a displayer. We send them to peacekeeping mission. All what we could give to them, 2 polo and 2 green and white t-shirts. The politicians in this country, they take the people of this country for granted. They don't get any respect for the people. The only time they exhibit respect is during the electioneering process. But other than that, some of the things the way they do in this country, if you don't live in another country, you don't really see a blatant disrespect to humanity. Politicians, MPs, councillors, go make gutter, big gutters. They put slab on top of that gutter. They say they don't make bridge. Me and you to know, AAA, what in bridge mean. But this country, so the key message for the drive home as the Leone, let we love ourselves more than politics. Because with people they don't love politics past themselves. If you love yourself more than politics, you sit down, you think about which goodness way for your community. Then let we come back to the people of Sierra Leone. When incidents happen, civil society, we don't see the hypocrisy civil society.
We get for reach there because this is so trending right now. We really get for reach
all the evil society. Make I reach on the, maybe you will draw me back to her when you reach to that side. We don't see the evil society there. We don't see this, but we feel we want let civil society work. One, we don't know civil society then work their role. 2, we not get any genuine support towards civil society. Majority of it, only few people like Una. Because when Una looks with the campaign on the constitutional thing, you use this platform and other generous reunions and with the part of this family, Sarah Network Radio family, then contribute towards that. We print the stickers and give Okada riders and keke. And people now recognize when they talk about constitution, Chadi, they talk about that. Because they see the stickers and some people then don't want, some on Okadas and other things. But then the Amnesty International way we enjoy now overseas. Now America, the UK, Germany, the Human Rights Watch, Salvation Army. Salvation Army, no government they fund them. Now citizens then they contribute the animal rights, civil societies and charities and within them country. People that will believe in animals that then they contribute. At the end of the day, then people then they watch them people then they then website where Then organizations and they come out and say, with thanks we don't know then, that's so and so we get from the public. So if something wrong with animals, they see them, they go out there and go after the one the way they put their animals and their life into trouble. Here is a country, some of we, now the civil society landscape, politicians and they gang up with media owners for say, if Abdul Fatoma go to that station, they cause problem. Not bring and can they again. Not to anyone a civil society. Where Abdul Fatoma not go to television, where Abdul Fatoma not go to radio, or you don't also, they don't give you money. If media not call me another good day, I'm going to go first and say, well, I can't this. But if they say, Fatoma, well, you can't talk on this. Fatoma, well, you can't talk on this. The one the way na media people then at this country. I mean, Sierra Leoneans and the way they out, then they grant me interview on them platform there. Then Zoom platform, Facebook platform, or then get a news articles the way then they write. No journalist, not they ever tell us I turn them down on any story. No matter how insensitive and critical in this country. We always, as an organization, we stand. But then if the politicians then work with the media and say no, and the media get a key role for play, and people don't even understand that. The media, they make and break society. But people, where is civil society there? We pull health reports, not reach 1 or 2 newspaper we publisher. Before, when we pull something, you see how many newspaper they cater for. We self know they know how comes and gain access to it, even though we put it on the public. You know, but people don't know the things where they actually play in this country. But when they're ready, the civil society, every blessed day, and they get past 10 complaints. Sometimes I go engage IG, and I go pick me call. AIGs in a different part of this country, they don't go pick me call about injustice. And they, investigate a matter when nearly they go to a year. The director of crimes, not the police, the AIG where they in charge of that. Huge interference into that matter. Where the other boy, they lock up on and off. I don't send a complaint to the Minister of Internal Affairs. I don't meet with the AG. I don't talk to them. The DPP also aware about this. Then they link even the SP into this matter. I engage her. They tell me, say, in handle it and be just raise concern to her about this. Every big man will concern that case they want for raise to admit them. That's it. They not for interfere. It pause Sierra Leoneans there, then they detain them. The other Sierra Leonean man will reside in London. It puts in money, into a business or a family in Sidoya, a friend in small brother, and open a shop for her. They buy second hand thing them for Mianda. They send her. Then just grab, say, the boy, then they investigate, they understand, say, in other brother link to this boy in small brother, where they run in shop in this country. Then go capo other man property. Some of in property then they use them. Now when we intervene and then stop for use the exhibit there. How police collect something, then as an exhibit, they say go arrest, go do raid. This they use them now as an exhibit. The way it come, now the fridge they use for cool in water. Now the sofa chair then they use for sit down, and then they sleep. Now the television way they go take now that shop as an exhibit. Now then they put on and watch television at the office. The same director of crimes, when I bring that to your attention, he say everyone go there, and go tell and say that they are unprofessional. But now the matter for let them check this matter to court. The people go say, we don't do this. But we don't do one segment because this Nigerian man bring several cases and one can bring 7 cases. So when a young case go come, they tell to today. Then tell me, say, the other case, when concerning this property, now either tomorrow or Monday, now they will send the advice to police. Now 1 year now, from last year, September to date. I mean, this social injustice they all, it makes the Leoneans feel happy. Like you want for car home, you hear about it in 7 case. So when a young case go car, the tell to today, then tell me say the other case when concerning this property, now either tomorrow or Monday, now in them will send the advice to police. Now 1 year now, from last year September to date. I mean, this social injustice they all, it makes the Leoneans feel happy. Like you want for car home, you hear about that kind of story there, to lie a true story. It just they ask you say, is it right for me? So few of we were, know what you would do, we sincere with what you would do. We don't have huge pressure. The state they fed we, then the very people that way you they fed for, then they betray you back. Then they count case to you. As they go say this, it will embarrass government, it will embarrass the police force. Then they go to the police say, go pull that case that child did the hand. We go handle her. Then they can, Mr. Fatoma, this case here, I want to left fan because there is a way one man they will say, go help me, let you wait yourself. Then it end there. Remember, no donor, not they give money for do the settlement there. They're not the interest not about that itself. We do that thing there voluntarily out of we own will and moral. Things say we all a moral thing to we community and we people there. And we choose, some of we choose for they are voluntarily. None of us in push we can do.
I'm glad the way you talk about that because most people now say I network know about this case. Myself, we don't talk about time and everything. So I believe you don't throw lights now because a pantapnoma I can just talk, but you don't throw lights make more people know about time. Coming to this one with the people and civil society. Somebody just send message now say civil society now the worst. Then they deceive their own people simply because of politics. You think, say, because in every society there are bad apples. We can use Makeni as an example. The civil societies then go Makeni, different groups then go Makeni, and all the groups will go Makeni, everybody come with different findings based on Usai then team up. You think, say, now because of this, now make people they frown at every civil society. They don't even want to sift and say, okay, these are the good ones. But then just think, say, civil society then are the worst, then they deceive, they are politically minded, and they just did it for them pockets.
No, the people then they get time, then they go, then they get everything wrongly. The reason is this. With civil society, like a very open space, a very big space. We get different categories of civil society in every part of the world. Civil society means to government. Now that means civil society. Even political party, they are civil society. But then your ideology now on governance and politics. So then you also get political rights organization and political activist organizations with a civil society. Like for example, if you go England, the trade unions na civil society. But when politics come, you see who side and they stand with a particular political party na England. This come back to other part of the world. And then we come to with Leone context. People therefore know civil societies based on the operation, the mode, the utterances. You see civil society organizations in this country. They cause one political party where then they support, now that podium where then they fight you or they attack you. Then go defend them political parties and they. So when you look at them civil societies and the whole ideology or the policy engagement, policy support, now that political party. So you where they watch them, you where they listen them, you already for don't know say
this and this political party they support. This and this political party they deal with. The one where they talk for the people there, they clearly know say this is in favor of the people there. We now one organization, and me particular, I see myself as a brighter example in this country. The previous administration, we organization be very much, open up, confrontational with them, highlighting series of policy issues, and drawing their attention to their obligation. They lock me up, then seize me passport, then deny me of registration at this country, not once, not twice, several times. Registration they done 1 week. It take we 2 years. It take we 1 year, 6 months. But when they left power, when then they chase the members, we now be the leading civil society organization will come out openly and condemn the act of government. And this government, this government, in young political party supporters, and call them behavior, say, now violence conduct, and not get no place in this country. When they sack people the way they perceive, say, now that very administration, yeah. So when this government, come in power, we also draw their attention on, their responsibility as a government. So what happened? When they sack people them, with the name say, now be APC people them, we champion, then sacking them. If we ensure that say, then people then they get them benefit. This very platform where would they use so people then when are sympathizers of this government, they attack me personality. They tell me say me they lie. They tell me say now this I just there for blackmail the government. But at the end of the day, when the government succumb to we campaign and pay them people, then they wait then the same and they pay them benefits. Where them be believed say now APC people then. But we take them say they are Sierra Leoneans.
So you talk about statistics, Sierra Leone, right?
Yeah. They belong to Sierra Leone. And then get right for belongs to any political party where they feel say, now in your view, then they align themselves with. Now that political party in your ideology, when they attack the APC office, we also champion, and condemn that, the violence. We don't speak on so many constitutional issues that this country. When this government, a lot of supporters and they will then get, then they cost me mama, no good, no bad. Then they write them, then they make audio, then they do that. I suffer from that from the previous administration. And I suffer the same thing back from this administration. The only thing where this they not do me it, now arrest me and detain me. But then they also contemplate on that. Arguments don't take place several times. Say, we forgo arrest her. We forgo arrest her. It do this, they blast for government, they do that. So, but when people can look and say, oh, civil society, no. Let them confused. Now they're actually confused. Look the civil society in work. Look what in the utterances. Look who said and they. Look what in they do. I was so surprised I did on television. A government spokesman, Josie say in particular, always say Fatoma in condemn, see nothing where this government do. But after we peace on, they say I want to commend organization like Chadi. I shake my head. That shows that say the day you not talk for them, you're not the worst enemy. But the day you do something will favor them, you get them star. So we get driven by this as a people.
How do we change the narratives to make people see civil societies for who that them be? Just like as I be tell you just now, but the one way they listen through the radio, them not be getting the breakage, but on our way they on Facebook, now not be get that breakage just now, but the one way they, na the radio, there was no breakage there. We sorry, na Facebook, na decide for do it in then do. But as we be they talk just now, how civil society and the people of Sierra Leone go able for understand themselves. Because for right now, I can tell you, brother, the people are not happy on both sides with civil society. So as you post, even that posting what we do, even now, I'm glad you don't explain on our findings. Because when things will happen, quick people, they don't come out say, oh, civil society, you see, they know they talk now, they know go talk now, where they don't kill just now, now they tell them can begin talk for people and right. But they know they talk for educate some people there waiting for do. So also this missing link there with the citizens and the civil society.
I will repeat myself back. There's no missing link. The people will not understand the dynamics of civil society. We not understand the way civil society they work globally. That then just get the confusion. You know, even at the West, you get some people them in a certain political party, they don't want to hear about Human Rights Watch. They don't want to hear about Amnesty International. They don't want to hear about Human Rights First. They don't want for hear about, animal rights. They don't want for hear about LGBT rights. There are certain people then, they don't want to read their name then. But there are people then we want for hear their name then because they associate themselves with them. Like I say, civil society then they then believe in supporting a political party ideology. Then policy, ideology. Then go support that, then go there with the, as I tell you, if they follow Salon, you of course they follow. But people the way they listen me. The one the way they follow. Some of we the civil society then the moment we sit on at AYV, then cause one political party, you see that civil society they vex. Even a leader, they vex. I may not be a victim for the two sides. When you talk this, it gets real civil society, they attack. I mean, the time when the All People's Congress been there in governance, several civil society leaders and they will attack me. Where SLPP they in power, so several civil society leaders and they women and not meet up on that platform, civil society or civil society, then they attack me. Just because you highlight the government a failure. For being responsible to the people that we then get the responsibility for govern or for protect or for fulfill the right. When you challenge that, then they send civil society there on you. So the people don't need to be confused. It's just like if you're not a APC supporter, get your civil society, they be enough. Because the other civil society will not do for you. The one that we need they suffer. We they get attacked from both sides. Me not a victim. The record in the public is very clear. So I get people the way now SLPP supporters and the moment that they AYB and say, oh, I hate for see this man on television. Boldly. Then the writer now the comment side. People then they say that Abdul Fatoma day, that this but I suffer the same thing. But the good thing is about those who maltreated me during the APC era, we've been there in higher position, ministers, members of parliament, or commissioners. Now, if you interview them, people there, you talk to them, you ask them, who are the civil society where you get respect for? The one day we tell one journalist, a senior and trusted journalist in this country, they said the most possible I get regard for, and which shocked me to miss call, they said Abdul Fatoma. They said when that picture became out, Abdul Fatoma with First Lady now, they say I don't be ever get respect for her. They said, but when you see Abdul Fatoma champion national issues, it care less that it come up from South the southern part of this country, a careless that they go both school with the current president, a careless that, again, they talk Mende or in a sharp woman, waiting Fatoma care about. It talked about the issue where the money the common Sierra Leone. This will be, one of the people that they vow say, they go ensure say, I didn't jail until after election. But this is somebody that will confess to a journalist. And that journalist, when they come for interview me, the way in fact, when most media they interview me, they don't get my play some of the audios them. I not say the live program, but they interview them, they don't get my play them. Or neither even put out on the paper.
So, okay. When I don't go now, when I don't get all these findings, because I want to make we accept few calls, so not say it all it's small to you. Make we accept few calls them, then you go come for can say you tata word for we. But when I don't get all these findings, you say when I get for go hand over, waiting now una findings. Waiting una want for see out of this.
But we want to see this time around, the government really listen to in people them. And the government really address the urgent things that we go able to make peace go able then at them communities and they. Because a peaceful Sierra Leone is a development Sierra Leone.
Okay, well, I left you quick. Let's say in the next 10-15 minutes, we just bring callers them inside. And then we go come with you right back for come finalizer.
Okay, sir.
All right. Make we come with Usman Toli quick. Yes, Usman Toli, in few minutes, waiting you get for Abdul Fatoma.
Okay, first of all, I just thank Abdul Fatoma for Chadi. Naman always would get on this platform. They do a fantastic job. And Naman, we're always willing for come update with things that will happen in our country. So it's always a pleasure for getting on this platform. And sorry, first of all, I've not been there at the beginning of the program, but from the small who I don't listen to, I will just speak on them very quickly. I don't say, highlight a number of things that we then find out from what happened at Makeni, Lunsar, Feredugu, and Tumbo. And they all get similar characteristics. They get similar features. I will quickly just summarize them findings from Motimieri. You say, one, now lack of trust and confidence in the government. People do not get trust and confidence in the government. You talk about social injustices, lack of youth engagement, a lot of misinformation, marginalization. All NTR highlights where I think it's a thing that we don't talk about. And when you look at all NTR, lack of trust and confidence in the government, lack of youth engagement, misinformation, marginalization. It all boils down to the point where we don't put in this program. This divide and rule. All these things that we highlight, so we look at critically, it's all about divide and rule. For example, lack of trust and confidence in the government. If people do not trust the government, because whether they have been marginalized or being treated because you're not a member of a political party or being a member of a particular ethnic group, then they lead to tension. Then they lead to tension and misinformation. Very, very important. Where people are misinformed, the youth. For example, the Makeni riot. Clearly, Abdul Fatoma can say, he said youth were misinformed. And when you look at I think these findings don't come up on one of the other independent investigations that the people, the big one in Makeni, they actually inform the youth then. And that all is politically motivated. It's all about this divide and rule we talk about. Yeah? So I think, say, Abdul Fatoma pay a very solid point on that. And I agree with them to a very large extent. Yeah? And he come up with some good recommendations as well. He talk about youth offices then. However, the question of youth offices, I know they pay too much attention to them. If they make recommendation, it's good for the youth and for their offices. But I think what's more lacking in that country today is jobs. Unemployment too bakuna in the country. This is why we talk about things like agriculture. Because the direct foreign investment, the investment we want, when at the private sector, where we provide sustainable employment opportunities them, we want in our country for engaged youth, it's not forthcoming. They can. Yeah? So now some of the things in that way, and also when you listen to part of a recommendation as well, or part of the lack of independence of the police is very important. And you listen to a reference we make. And you also could AAA. Remember that OSD? We talk, say, then they support the government of the day. That again, now a serious cause for concern. Very serious cause for concern. Then finally, one thing on my way, I disagree with them and let obey in terms of blaming. They say why people have for blame civil society organizations. I think the people they get right for blame civil society because some of them civil society have been politicized. We know says there are some civil society in our country today where they're reputable. For example, Chadi, because we don't see where they advocate and they come up with result like the then workers them statistics millions. It produced some important result where actually impressed me and impressed a lot of people then. So the key own organization is reputable, but there are some other organizations then. The people then I think say they get grounds for blame those civil service organizations because these civil service organizations have been politicized and compromised their work. So for say there is nothing wrong, why people have for blame the civil service organizations. For it will argue on the basis of but there are other organizations clearly where they not speak to important issues then, where they don't compromise their work, where for over the years, we may say they're also corrupt, very, very corrupt. How many civil organizations where they don't consume funds the way they're not able to account for them? And these organizations, they for all the government into account. That is part of their responsibility. So I think, say, in that respect, I think I disagree with them. So now that number, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Usman Toli. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, doctor, you get a platform. Waiting na you takes, ma.
Hi. Hi, good evening, everyone, and good evening to Abdul M. Fatoma. We want to tell him thank you for coming back today and for talk to me and for giving an update on the trip to the provinces. We want to say, kudos to the team for taking that trip. The trip was necessary. The trip was timely and it was needed in our nation with all that is going on right now. So, and some of the things that he highlights and the last statement where he mentioned, I want to take on right from there, saying that, having a peaceful Sierra Leone it leads to a development in Sierra Leone. Meaning, if we country get peace, then development going to take place rather than violence. They continue to take place in the country. And I want to tell and say we really appreciate the work of Chadi, no matter how people then see Chadi as an opposition, or maybe somebody where they into different parties, but which I don't think, like he rightfully said, he's one of them that could stay neutral, in terms of how to, speak the truth when it comes to, human rights, engagement. So as in life, I just want to say this, to Fatoma, in life, whenever you stand for the truth, you will always face challenges them for please the other side will not stand for the truth. That way, because they're not focused on the development of the nation, neither do they focus on the inhumane treatment where people they get na the nation, like it say. If we don't live overseas, we know certain things that when they happen na the country. We know those are human rights violations that needs to be addressed, that somebody needs to really advocate for. So I will ask that they continue to advocate. I will ask that they continue to stay strong and continue to fight for humanity, because now that's we for do as Sierra Leoneans. As we know, say we're not involved in any political party. Now the justice, now we try for every human being in that nation forget. Like it say, if you really love yourself, then you go love your nation, you go love your neighbor, you go love your community. This now me the paraphrase in statement them where they talk. And those are key words, those are strong words that every Sierra Leonean need for model now the country in order for Lord we really see that nation go forward. And the other statement, waiting we Sierra Leoneans and they yearn for, would they yearn for or would they cry for? We just want that the government or stakeholders then become accountable. We come to lawlessness. We come to doing the right things for humanity. When are the food, shelter, electricity, water, healthcare, all these basic human rights, and treating one another with dignity and respect. If that's now what the accountability means, if that's been done, definitely we country can go forward. And the other thing is, when people and they talk say, then they serve government of the day rather than the people of Sierra Leone. Like he said, those are wrong things to come from any Sierra Leonean, whether you're involved in a political party or not. Once you've been in a political appointment, you've been elected, you are no longer, serving SLPP or APC or MGC. You're serving the people of Sierra Leone. And I ask and I hold every Sierra Leonean, whoever is governing or whoever is working for government should know that they are serving the people of Sierra Leone. They are not serving a political party. And that's not one thing we as Sierra Leoneans get for do. And you talk about lawlessness, definitely we do need to reform our constitution. We do need to engage the people, the community through civic engagement and education. In doing that, let people understand what in that constitution means to them. Let people understand, say, if this constitution is there to protect me, is there to serve me, it should not be when I speak up, when I want to protest, they're going to stop me from doing that. Or I need to write a letter. First, they have to approve it for me to do a peaceful protest in the nation. Those are constitution violations. Those are human rights violations that needs to be addressed. And I think as Sierra Leoneans, we should continue to advocate and do that along with civil rights society. Yes, we can come up and question civil rights society as to why they not address certain situations if you feel say it wasn't addressed. But I think we need for work with them, as Sierra Leoneans, for ensure say we continue for maintain peace in the nation so that the country go develop in how we want them. Thank you very much, and I want to say thank you, Abdul and Fatoma. Stay safe and trust me, you're doing a good work, and you will be protected, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aissatou Kake Jallow. Thank you, ma.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jesus, friend, you get a platform. Waiting a you quick one for Abdul and Fatoma.
Okay, thank you very much, Triple A. And I will thank we able brother, Mr. Fatoma, for a good job we don't do, especially with the findings. Like what him is right for highlight because of the people in trust and the people in fear, and even the way they appreciate even a particular incident will not happen. Now, when you look at Makeni, we've been just highlight, particularly say, when they go there, they look a bit, not even place to start some peaceful, and because they get repeated groups, and they go there, and we've all been decided by all the media, then this group go, that group go. So until they're able to convince them, the message was saying that this we can't give una, they willingly go, and based on the credibility of who have been go with them, gonna charge it and say, na in the one where they go to the town hall, in the Haja Fanta Hall, in another place, they didn't go meet up. But the good bit about it is that they don't make a breakthrough and they're able to get a number of people and we forgive them. Now there was an audience. But as they say, all man they had the area wouldn't just highlight it. All the group them. The most thing will have common one wouldn't they bring that area of misinformation and engagement. And then some of them they claim sin and mislead. But some of them they say the misinformation they come to Uda and Uda supposed to forgive him is sick. So then they say, well, they're supposed to forget the power them. What if you know what are possible act on the behalf? The other then they try to say, okay, now the method, the time wouldn't move. So but there is all about misinformation and engaging people who don't get for engage. So Wokana Yala will just left and more the side way in the try to talk about civil education. That's why they will just want to hold on. Developing the youth, that's one thing. Be able to provide avenues for them to engage their mind. That's very good. And then while they do that, then they try to bring in this civil education with all areas, then they try for help. But the only question why get behind them, they get small factions then. Some of them are also civil society, but some of them like a subsection. They are the same group today at AYV. They come, but now young people, they therefore go with flyers to introduce something about human rights and so on. But it's all come to hate speech and understanding about what you could do as a civilian, all from different factors. So that then go able to say then within the civil societies there, then go try back for monitor some of the smaller sections that would come up. Because some of them they want to do something, they have ideas, but they be a little bit premature. And then you could realize say the funds then will become distributed in a way where in the end product it will come, but it will be very big. So like UNDP, because UNDP is part of their own aim, development, they let the place quiet. So then we'll monitor some of these smaller groups, so something like a civil society subgroup. Then one of the civil society, then we'll try to emphasize again, let government try. This civil education, then try in part-time, and then especially the human rights charter. That human rights charter where United Nations been do, there are some sections then where they go able to try to educate the people. It's not really grab, oh, well, human rights, I they go do this. Oh, now human rights, I they go do this. So if they come on both parties, the government they understand the duties they wouldn't go perform, then the people they might understand, oh, well, human rights, they did this. Oh, amnesty. So they know all about these things. They teach them, not just for Kaloma as a body and area and then go. So there comes where they will try to do that informal education for the one they already at school again and they get to, and then they go on the formal sector and where they were able to involve. And just type of for life, Makeni, none of the avenues they wouldn't be able to get a very good audience because they get primary, small developmental sectors. They when a young man they will be on baby, they can bring them in there. But it's all up to how the message then will disseminate them. And one of the places where they will engage a lot. So that one, more civil education, I just want to hold on and we're able for help with the lawlessness because lawlessness is innate. Now innate, they're part of you. And a human part, when they say na human act, then a part of as a mortal man where you carry on, say you realize that part they exhibit them. Whether you go be politician, you exhibit that behavior day. It might just be in the level where they exhibit them. If you now just wearing that street for long now, then you exhibit them, but it will be violence. But everybody get lawless, like I really talk them. But it's up to how we get for the access people and try for the address people and back for say, Una, if you need counseling, go for counseling. If you get under management, go for counseling. All those things, then therefore try to put them available. Because they see politicians, they like when they see some man, they say, yeah, why they go to this for that interview, they ready, and they told them to go give me, they give them back. All those kind of scenarios, because you get for be diplomatic. Some of them have innate something with them where they can't live out. And some of them, they are natural, charismatic. They know how to deal with the situation. So those are the things you get for employ people and go say, let them cancel some people. Who will get the party, who get meeting, who for no people who get this character, who for they refer them. You refer the people, you need to go and do this. It don't mean anything. We are part of it. We are in that polite way. So that the people that go to the public and go portray you, the one person, you don't put all man. One man they come, they say, oh, like party. We're not looking at a party, we're looking at individuals, so all we join together, we try to go before. And that's more in terms of education, more and counseling and knowing who they are and behavior, how they go for support. And I want to know more because of time, we're not going to keep the brothers. Like, but we thank them very much for your effort. And I hope to see the outcome we don't pull out so it will be fruitful, let people and take them on board. Thank you so much, and we thank them back one more time.
Thank you very much. Usman, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're most welcome, sir. Yeah.
Yes, caller, you get 2 minutes. What's in your contribution? Quick to Abdul Fatoma.
Well, my own contribution, I'm very plenty. Thank you. This education where you bring out for we so today, very, very much important. What we need now, we community in terms of lawlessness, especially for make everybody aware of the weakness or the lawlessness we get now, your own part and improve. But then when you talk about that charity day, it so remind me, say this, I say Saturday when I say general topic, I go back and come up because we need for support Sierra Network. Because Sierra Network, they do so much that if not for you, sometimes some of we know for no most of them detail important information, I would go na turn. Like we Queen also sometimes they can send an envelope then to we St. Jude, Children's Hospital, Salvation Army. Every month, like a $20, $50 contribution. So me, they apply to every Sierra Leonean, both home and abroad. Whatever little you get for support Sierra Network, please give it, now then charity are the boosting country as also day-to-day will the benefit. So now me own contribution that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Martha. Thank you, ma.
Okay, ma.
Yeah. Yes, caller, you're live on here. You get 2 minutes. Quick one, waiting a contribution.
Yeah, I mean, I call from me. All right, thank you very much. We tell plenty thank you to brother Abdul Fatoma. Let Allah continue for give long life and body. Let Allah give strength. Now, then kind people there would they pray God for let and then at the country when they speak up. Get no side when they decide for say I didn't decide. If we get Mr. Fatoma in Canada, then we started in a salon. Like we in they get the bold mind. If they get nobody platform in a salon, then media always there. Then they get on the platform for what they talk. The sensitization they go to the people. So like we sister don't say we not the Sierra Network family, Lord able organize ourselves, Lord try for push this platform go before. So I'm not going to go far. I tell plenty thank you to Brother Abdul Fatoma and Yusuf. May God continue for bless we all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, caller, in name and also the call for you get 2 minutes. Quick one.
Yeah, good evening, Triple A. I name Abdul Bimara, the call from Paris. Yeah, I just want to say thanks very much to Mr. Fatoma for a good job. You know what I'm saying? I just pray say yes, it will continue. And thanks to all the Sierra Network family too, because it don't take back not to today when I don't begin to give information to we the Sierra Leoneans at least what we did out of the country. You know what I'm saying? We just pray say because at this all we talk every day for employ the youth. You see, not true, and we all listen. We can do small, but at least we need a big support from make Sierra Network for become even more than a call place. So we make us a television. Anything whether they broke, whether they able show it, they able show it live. So we to go able to pass it on that. So I want to say thank you and to Mr. Fatoma really for this one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Abdullah. Thank you, sir. Yes, caller, they're live on air. You get 2 minutes. Quick one. You name and who the call from, please.
Yeah, I need to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Fatoma get good intentions. They try to do something good. But the problem with that is the lack of education that have country and I make people that not respond to what they try to push because they don't keep the people and so illiterate that they can go and talk to them after I left. They not think about it again. But because education not there, if education is there from the grassroots level, then they organize themselves from the local to district level, and get friends they can think. But they also brainwash these people because they don't get education, they don't even focus on anything, which is bad. marginalization and lack of trust in government. Most of today started, don't start years and years, but probably decades ago because of lack of education. So that's the problem they get. They got to fix them, you know. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Yes, caller, you live on here. You name and who the call from. You get 2 minutes. What's your contribution?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Me now, the sciences are the call from London.
Yes, I'll say I get 2 minutes, sir. What's your contribution?
Your contribution, that's, I tell you, thank you, the good work they do. We get a very good team, especially this guy, Fatoma, the other guy, Jibril or something, and this lady, Isa too. We now don't become a doctor. They admire that they did it so much, you know. Simply, country, we don't get a broken society. Country is also politics, so tribalism, here and there. Something that happen at that country, they're not also a government so supposed for the things that for the happen. These governments come, they see new direction. All they behind this for a change in Sierra Leone. These governments come, all what they see, not tribalism. Love face the fact. Me, I know they want to talk about politics, but love face the fact. Yeah.
Because the bring and come inside quick. So, whose message you get for them?
Yeah. I don't get much for say. Me, I just see that guy Fatoma, which is the commander for the good work we do. I think now one of the man that they out there for Tima for the nation, and I wish him well. And now so anything they do, you must get people. You say they attack you. That lady says, Doctor Isaac, they must attack him. The Fufana, they must attack Fatom, or everybody, they must attack. Why should they do the good thing? Now just carry on the good thing. Thank you very much, my brother. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Hussein. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, Abdul Fatoma, thank you again. What in you are respond to the callers them, sir?
Well, I've been a struggle for get the other one then I get Brother Tolly, and from that to this last person now we talk. But the one that we're not here waiting and talk, and the one that we're here waiting and talk, I want for tell them plenty thank you for their brilliant contribution, and I want for tell them plenty thank you for where they recognize the work we do. And, you know, whether the one that we comment against we in favor of we, I mean, I want to tell them plenty thank you for their efforts, you know, doing that. Where you listen, they think them, you know, with problem we get, we not able for study with situation as Leone properly. But then we comfortable for criticize, you know, with situations and jump in highlighting this type of problem without really we not diagnose their problems. And then when Abende Makeni and Tumbo, the traditional leaders, and I say things against them, but then come back to me and say, what do you tell me? Not the truth, a hat. But we let somebody like you. I tell them, say, when I don't chief them, when I don't sell, you know, when I chief moralities, no longer again, you see, even the common Peking get respect for the chief. No longer again, you see, politicians afraid chief or get respect for chief. I say, why? Because of money. And poverty don't make Sierra Leoneans and laws the moral integrity in this country. Not a lack of education. Some of the things that we they attribute say that because of we people they not educate. My brother, when this corona thing can at this country, the people that we say they not educate, then take more preventive measures past the one that we say they educate for protect themselves. But poverty, it makes police sell immorality, make soldiers sell immorality, make lawyers sell immorality, make pastors sell, imam sell, with community leaders, everybody. Poverty. The media ganging up against the people, against civil society ganging up against the people. You know, why? For money? They don't want to be looked poor. And we, the people, them back, we forget, say, we want let we get moral guarantors and the country, let them not go be influenced and corrupt by politicians. We left them on their own. Not everything, the donor community, we hey, donor. We get the NGOs, the non-governmental organization, we get them into two sectors. We get the development NGO, when then they build school, build water well, build bridge, build hospitals, and all that. That are the development NGOs that they want to need. Then you get the advocacy NGO, the hala one then, and like we, Amnesty International, human rights watch, human rights first, and democracy movement, the global democracy movement, like the one that when Nelson Mandela, they part of the civil rights thing, Martin Luther King, that are the advocacy one and Andy. They're not there for build bridge, they're not there for build hospital, but then they call government attention for let it build hospital for in people there. Then they call government attention for let it ensure say it bring light, it make road for in people there, it bring electricity. And then with one civil society leader on a Good Morning show in this country, on our television, he asked a waiting a road. I began for tell and say road is very important. It doesn't matter, say, the one the way they support now, you don't go justify, say, the roadway, the one the way they know they support, the way they may build, important. No. Any country where it want let economy develop, a broken economy there, that's three key things there. They propel economic development at that country. And even let the citizens and get long life. Now, waiting on we get this electricity, road, and infrastructure. Then three things, and when we get them right, because the tax, where will they get? If now government say, then they spend like 600 billion euros for building new houses there. Who are then they hire? That's Leoneans there, as contractors, mercenaries, carpenters. Then Leoneans, and the way they pay them, then they buy items away, then they take GST form. So they get for pay tax back. Then when they pay them, then pay, then get for the contractors away, they hire them, get for pay tax for them back. So nearly 60% or 50% of that money where government put into that housing project, government they get them back. The businessman, the way they sell them paint, then cement there, they still get for pay tax. So when our contractors and they go by, then they wait to say, when you make road, what thing they happen? Overcrowding, they then are certain urban areas. Because people know, say, I'm going to drive from Freetown to Makeni within 2 hours. And then Makeni, and they can't walk to Freetown. So if we train there or other transport facilities and they, why are need for cancer to Freetown? Because are they walk to Freetown? No. Are they able to reach Freetown within the office hour? Then when I'm off, are they able to go back and meet with my family? But when people cloud their mind because of poverty and think about politics than humanity, that's where we are getting it wrong in this country. And you see, because of we love politics, we hate ourselves. Somebody go blackmail you without no fact. And say, oh, people where they see so, and then APC bobo, and then in people there, na APC. Maybe you people are na APC, but you not agree for the APC. You don't believe in APC ideology. Maybe you people are na SLPP, but you as an individual, you not agree for actual SLPP ideology. You just get your own way, how you want for serve humanity and ensure say humanity live as a human. But we don't get that concept. Like my other brother, we say, agree with me on the civil society. Definitely, I respect your opinion, but I vehemently disagree with them and strongly stand on the point. We for know the civil society when a civil society for the people. We for know the civil society when a civil society for the political groups. When we know them one and then we not suffer we suffer. Then we left what they say, we people that not educate, we people that not educate. No. Lack of education don't make people that don't take high corona in this country. Lack of education don't make people that don't drink caustic soda. They say na sugar. It not be here too. We not lost people the majority. But why are we losing our people on moral grounds? Because of lack of education. It's not lack of education. It's because of poverty. Poverty, a lack of love for we neighbor, a lack of love for we self. At the talk to Makeni, they tell and say, me na Makeni, but not a ya born no, na born me born. But because me na Sierra Leone, Makeni na my own place. Because me na Sierra Leone, Tombo na my own place, Losan na my own place. So when anything affects Makeni, it affects myself. Not because of another sleep na Makeni. Not because of another work like Makeni, but because me na Sierra Leone, I connect to Makeni, I connect to Tombo, I connect to Kono, Kailang, Putloko. Wherever you want to take me, as long as it's within Sierra Leone, I get a greater connection there because I am a Sierra Leonean and I love me people there. If finally they look things beyond the actual thing. But we can't get the way it is. If we not can openly and be sincere with ourselves, we will continue to face the challenge. No, they look things and say, oh, na politics, na tribalism, a lack of love. Lack of love. When you love yourself, we all got identity. No matter who say you born, you got an identity. Even the born, not a black. Them born in America, them born in Germany, them born in England. Your identity is that I'm an African. So, me na Shabu, for example. I'm not born in Africa. I'm born in Chiefdom, Boom Chiefdom, na Madinaton, na Bon District. My identity always, I'm a link with the Shabros. But then, my greater identity link with Sierra Leone. I'm not Sierra Leone because my passport is Sierra Leone, my national ID is Sierra Leone, my voter's ID is Sierra Leone. And not ever tell me say my voter ID is the Republic of the Shabro people. No, Republic of Sierra Leone. My national ID, Republic of Sierra Leone. And when I go on the country, no matter how you change your status, who say you born? That's Sierra Leone. Country of birth, Sierra Leone. So until we get that love, but we take politics, like this country, very much important part of your life. That's how some people do. The moment you call some name to some people, then, na mami cause open so, na swear open so, na this open so. We have to go beyond that. People they tell me, say, oh, then cause your mama today. They make audio, then cause your mama. I say, me mama, if you don't tell me, say, the fact that a boy pick every day, then get focus on. I said, things ain't not worry about that. Me, I don't worry. The truth of the matter is that my conscience is clear. When I die today, I meet me God. I tell and say, I'll be honest with myself.
One quick one will go be my last question to you before I let you for go. Me and somebody be the talk the other day, and with the talk say from where we don't do this thing. It's like salon not a change. It's like the people, they are not listening. The conversation lead to say, it's not because we don't have rights to protest, make the politicians them make stakeholders them see people are unhappy, and these are the reasons we make the people them unhappy. However, as soon as you talk about protest, as soon as you talk about demonstration, they don't link them to violence. So that one day they make ever happen. So it's like people are still aggrieved, like we are not happy with this particular thing where they go on. This not to say that this administration no more from the previous one, but in Sierra Leone as a whole, because of the constitution, people are not happy, but they're not able to come out and voice them out. How do we break through? How do we break through for make these people know say it's our right for make we protest? It's peacefully. It's our right for make we demonstrate. For make they know say we are not happy and we need changes in certain areas. Them how we voice could be heard, because whatever we've been doing, it's not working. It's not working. So what's the way forward?
Yeah, you're quite right. This is brilliant. But we not only get problem one side when at the constitution. I agree with you to a larger extent, because other countries the constitution abroad and it bring a greater protection to the people. Like America, they amend, they're not afraid for amend, as long as it's in the best interest of the people. England, not a constitutional country, that pieces of legislation. They keep on bringing legislation after legislation to ensure say their people are safe, their people are protected, their rights are guaranteed. Like the most topical issues that we discuss on this country when I hate speech. We also mix hate speech and hate crime. We also mix up freedom of expression and hate speech. Advanced, modernized country, freedom of expression, it get restriction, it get punishment, then it get boundary. Hate speech, when they talk a particular public, when they express yourself publicly, negatively, against a particular group of people, because of their race, because of their gender, because of their religion, because of their color, then when you come to hate crime, when you incite people, encourage them, motivate them for destroy, vandalize, engage in violence conduct, all of these things they want to highlight. They all get punishment there. Now other countries the way want democracy and want let them people that enjoy democracy. But when you come home, when the fire they up, now they tell you to look for solution. And these other countries, the way they make us example, they are not the best, but they have laws that protect their people. When you go to court, you will make reference. But when it comes to now we they even talk about cyber law. And that's a minute, very small side we they talk about. They're not able to cover everything. And what thing they want for do? They want for use this opportunity of hate speech parade or hate crime parade for even tightening the social media. We now they the people then get for blue mind. And we own space, civic space. Some of we not go encourage that, we not go tolerate any government for take such a step. So coming back to we laws, as you say, since 1963, 1964, 1965, 1966, all the laws that if you look at what we make, they're all there against the people of this country. When we review the Constitution 1978, it becomes very bad as a next commissioner and a president now go appoint her, police the president now go appoint her, this the president now go appoint her. So President Momo made this reform in 1991, he made it in 1985. So push from civil society group, student union, trade union, 1985, and we came down to 1991. They able finally for review the constitution. Guess what? They only changed small parts. Part 3, and kind of small thing then. One of the brothers talk about the UN Charter human rights. Small thing then. Then again, big title, governance, human rights, blah, 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 fundamental rights. But, boy, oh boy. Now the country this, if the government fail for provide education for you became, you know, they hold the government accountable, meaning your education, right to education is not guaranteed constitutionally. If the government fail for provide health care facility, access to health care for them people, you know, for hold the government accountable for that, meaning your right to access to health care is not guaranteed. Because they say some of the social issues are not justiciable. You know, the part 2, chapter 2 of the Constitution. Even though they say the government of Sierra Leone ensure say we live them protect and we live in a good environment and free from any insecurity. But however it can say, if we're not able to provide this, nobody know for who we liable, say we fail. So meaning the Constitution not guarantee you with anything. So this clearly tell you that when you come, the 1965 Public Order Act, we've been pay much attention to the part 5, where they say the truth, not to a defense. You know, so if you say a thing where they against a politician, then that politician they get rights for taking a court. Why should they not court? Even you say that in a school, not knowing that you defend, and the discretion of that judge, that magistrate, for determine that. But we get other things that we restrict with freedom of movement, freedom of expression, you know, freedom of assembly. Even though the Constitution, they guarantee of that under the same chapter 3, but then the police in this country and the public prosecution side look at the part 5 more important. I mean, sorry, not the part 5. The 1965 Act, holistically, some portions there, more important than the Constitution. What do we make carry forward after the war? We not agree review this Constitution now. Where they develop acts then, where modernize past the 1991 Constitution, where democratic past the 1991 Constitution. But then the clever lawyers and they advise the politicians and say, you know, say Constitution paramount than the act. So what in the act they say, forget about that. Let me just go and go with what in the Constitution say. And at the end of the day, they are right. Because the thing where we for don't do as a nation, now for review that Constitution, make her let it protect the people, not make let it against the people. But as it is, I don't talk about this platform several times that with Constitution where we get and several laws from 1963, 1964, 1965, they are against the people of this country. They are not for, they are not protecting. So the only time we will come and get that recognition as a people that say them people they will vote for, therefore listen to we, for dictate to them, therefore work with we. That is the only time. But without that, my brother, like you say, we go holla, then we'll pick, if we holla 100, then we'll pick 5 or 2 or 3, then dump the balance that means we still fail. But then just collect the one the way them things say it's good on them. Like we don't holla, we don't free people that we've spent 17 years on Panama Road without seeing a lawyer, without seeing a judge. They don't free them. We don't holla people the way not get no business at police station and don't free them. We don't holla people the way they not pay them benefit. Government hours and they give them benefit. Despite the statistics, that way they a high number. We holla 99 staff then for Fire Force, we then lay them off. We make them reinstate them all back. You will cover that case then at this platform. You will grant you the opportunity for law to talk on that issue. Then be able to reinstate them, all of them people. Through that we holla. But we don't holla other holla there, where they're not listening. I mean, but we are making progress. But the general public, now we divide with so much, you know, they into politics than they into humanity. You know, we no love ourselves. So the fact that say you no love yourself, you don't get for love anybody. You don't get for love anybody. I mean, I know the cry say let us support Abdul Fatoma. I know the cry say let's support Abdul Fatoma. But love yourself first. So if you hate Abdul Fatoma, it's not a problem.
Okay, we want to tell you thank you for the opportunity we'll get again today for bringing you come. And I believe say a lot of people will not be know but until where you don't talk, don't know about them. What thing you go on for left with we for today, sir?
Well, it's the same thing. It's love. Because we start with peace campaign where we're gonna then town them. We plead to young people, and we so many say they get inspired by that, and the elders and as well. I say, love yourself. If you love yourself, you will able to love the other man. If you love yourself, you'll be able to care for humanity. When we love yourself, we will see peace. So if you get peace, now your heart will give the other man peace. But when you don't get peace, no one give the other man peace. So love yourself.
Thank you very much, Abdul Fatoma. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, stay safe. Well, that's now been Abdul Fatoma from Campaign for Human Rights Development International. Would I be there where we start the program? If you be there where we start the program, please comment at the section waiting I be the talk about. If you be there when we start the program, please comment at the section waiting me be the talk about. I will read something at the comments before I say anything. Or maybe the people them waiting at the platform right now, they not be there when we start. They don't know how we been start the program. Eh? Okay. We will be there, if you remember. I start the program in talking about loving we self. Waiting at the challenge where we set for we self. That's how I started today. Eh? Yes, people them way be there, then just they confirm now. Love yourself. Something you just said, yes. That's how I started today. I think that's a message that was needed. And because God knows we need them, He sent somebody else for carry confirm them, for carry affirm them about love. As He set a target for yourself, which you want to achieve. Eh? I say not all time with the kind for just come say salon. But what thing we don't do for we self? Whose kind of love will we get for we self? That's how I start. So, and trust me, if you love yourself, you go love the next person. Eh? I think it was a message well received. You know, side when they come out, I was just sitting today thinking, say, you know what, a rich time way today, I asked myself, say, is it even worth it doing what you they do so? Because it's like say they not even listen. That's the time where this one where I discussed with Fatoma so come and say, you know why? Now because people don't know the protest. Like we know they make the politicians feel uncomfortable. We not get the right for make them feel uncomfortable. Not of course, no. We're not able to make them feel uncomfortable, demonstrate, show. Eh? Like the other time where they Lincoln Queen students and go protest, students go arrest they all. Because we do a dignitary be kind of the country. Eh? Mufti Mink be kind of the country that 10 day. Now maybe they arrest them because they don't want to make it see that part day. They don't want to look that kind of way. I'm not talking only for this administration. But now in Sierra Leone, as you say, for demonstrators, they say, oh, lawlessness, oh, reckless. How can our voices be heard? How? How then go you say we are not happy? Yes, with the worker, that's it's, if you please me heart, Tripoli me, I want I can always talk now, I say, me, I don't want to be politician. I just want to make the politician know, say, we have a platform like this. We go tell them the truth. We go to the people, make the people and voice things out. One way where I feel, say, we able to do, now that talk to the camera, they send the camera out there. Make the people talk. But do they even watch it? Do they even listen? How many people don't talk? How many people don't get in situation? Not everyone go say because all man they papa. No, but there are some. It's a responsibility of the government of Sierra Leone. Eh? What else we go do for make them listen? Say we are talking. Because as it is, na alasane alusai na tatu yawa. So we need for make them know say we they talk. And we need their attention. Or else the same soup. Because we do every parastatus in Sierra Leone has been politicized. Not say me the other day they talk nice on, but you just kind of wait side they talk come out, you don't begin talk, they curse. I just block her. I make I can always talk and I say, until people where they support an administration, self begin for point out, say, you know it in, now they support about this thing, you know right. Now they support about this thing, you know right. Una no say, me na supporter for this, but this, you know right. That's the time, then self go able for begin feel one kind way. But the way it is, it's like we just talk. Eh? I'm serious. Today, I was just sitting like, is it even worth it? At the end of the month, all the bills, them, way at the incur, all in doing this. Eh? All. Is it worth it? For do this? Where it's like say the people them, we would try for make them aware. Then just say, well, we're not trying on our own, then I want to not get work for do. Now then at the diaspora, then get free money for waste, then get free time, then get this, then get that. Sometimes, a lot of people they call Sierra Network, they cry them problem. Sometimes I just wish I did salon. Go on at some of these things where people then at the diaspora, then they suffer. I just can see myself say, I wish I be this alone, I get this call. Say, now outside, they say, now so I carry the camera, they turn lights on, action, turn the camera on. If you talk, fine. If you not talk, we'll see you, they run, we'll video you, just like they do here. Make them uncomfortable. Now, me how they talk so? Because we they do. Yes, we understand some people do because of politics. But some of us, we're not there in this thing for politics. We just want to see the right things. We just want to see things go right. Eh? Why? But we not relent. We not distress. We not relent, we not distress. One day, we name go in our history books. So we were part of the process. We all, able to get something better out of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone deserve more than waiting we get. We deserve more. I can watch some place, remote places now, other African country, then they get light. Not to generator, then just go inside and switch lights day. Then get pipe-borne water. Then get. You go to village, you go to wait yourself, then health clinic, the people are there for the love of providing the service. But because of poverty, that one day I don't press we down because of poverty. Because of poverty. May God help Salone. May God help Salone. Because same thing no more. Same thing. But when it's stress, so sometimes you just go through the process. You go through that process, you go through that phase day, you pass, you energize again. Energize again and ready for the next one. You don't say tomorrow, we'll forget the good old days. This is how the conversation don't begin to go. We get the good old days tomorrow. We'll go there. All we want for Salone are the best. And we want the best. Who tell you say money not this Salone? Who that tell you? Who? God help we. Also, Commission of Inquiry tell you about almost 100 billion. We mismanage. Who that say money not the? May God help we, not the stress. We there. With that change where we want to see, we go see. We go see. We're there back tomorrow with the good old days. Israel, tomorrow, please, we need you. I see you comment, we need you tomorrow. Because we've not been getting the last time. We need you tomorrow. The good old days will be here. No stress. We need the stress. Now that, I say, what can make I say, they want just make you stress and give up. Lie. Naya. The drag and tego. Yes, stress. That's also. We go there back tomorrow with the good old days. You don't join we, you will believe in Sarah Network. Thank you. Yeah? Thank you. We are all in this together. We are family. We are a family. Because we want to see the best for Sierra Leone. Till we meet again tomorrow on the good old days. Triple A say, Tata.